be the quickest?
Most dangerous.
Most resilient.
To play for glory. For pride. To thrill.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Depps Cross, the State Hockey Centre, colloquially known as the Pines. I can say it this week. Josie hasn't given me the big red line through. Normally I get it in big red. Welcome to round 3 of the Hockey SA Statewide Super League. Tonight the Western Pirates are taking on the Eastern States. Both of these teams undefeated, and I will be joined in commentary by Tim White. Welcome, Tim. It's a cold night tonight.
It is cold, but it's good to be here, Dave.
It's great to be here. You said before, both of these teams unbeaten. 2 unbeaten teams shall enter, only 1 shall leave, because we go to 1-on-1, so we can't draw. Oh no, we can draw. We can draw. I think we can draw.
I think we can.
I'm going to keep pushing that. I'm going to keep pushing it. We shouldn't be able to draw. So both of these are on. Grand final will come up on July the 25th. We have taken all of the best talent from all of the teams in the Premier League, and we've reduced it down into 3 teams. The ladies are out there at the moment just getting their names read out. Should take this opportunity to thank Statewide Super, who are the naming sponsor of the Women's League. The proudly South Australian business. For over 30 years, Statewide Super are committed to supporters. They are committed supporters of the local community and its members across a variety of sectors. With a strong belief that sport is an integral part of our state's culture and a dedication to growing local sport and talent, Hockey SA are thrilled to have Statewide Super support and partnership in the introduction of this significant opportunity for talented South Australian athletes. Create yourself a super future. I actually probably need to get onto them. I've just started a new job. Probably need to speak to Statewide Super. Do you reckon they'll chuck a bit more in because I name them on a Wednesday night?
They might give you a little bit of a kicker.
They should do. We should also say thank you to Just Hockey, who have supplied all the uniforms for every single Super League team. They were established 32 years ago and are Australia's premier retailer of hockey equipment and a proud supporter of hockey at all levels. They sponsor Hockey Australia, all state associations, as well as assisting junior, elite, masters players with a number of sponsorship programs. Don't forget as well, Tim, I'm sure you haven't, school holiday clinics are running in the 2nd week of July. Clinics are available for beginners through DAP and state team athletes. Head to the Hockey SA website to register. We are getting ready. All the teams are going out to get ready to start this one, round 3 of the Statewide Super League. The Western Pirates are wearing the red jerseys and the red socks, and the Eastern Saints wearing the blue. What type of blue would we say that is? It's not a sky blue, is it? It's not.
It's not turquoise.
It's not sky blue. It's not royal blue. Blue.
It's blue.
It's blue with navy socks. We can definitely say navy socks.
Eastern Saints blue.
Eastern Saints. I like it. Eastern Saints blue. So it looks like the Pirates are going to start us off. Just a reminder, if you're new to the Statewide Super League, 4 15-minute quarters. We have ball kids running around the outside who have sensibly put their hoodies on tonight. So it is fast and it is furious. We are also live and we are also interactive. If you have any questions for me or Tim, then send them through. If you just want us to say hello, we will say hello to you as well.
This should be a good contest against both of the undefeated teams, and Eastern Saints got a really strong midfield, so I would expect a close encounter.
We would expect that, and then every time we expect that it's going to be a slow start, it goes off at 1,000,000 miles an hour. So we'll wait and see. Hopefully it does. So it looks like McLaughlin's going to sit back into that sweeper role, but she's turned it over straight away. Sophie Collins will be able to carry it forward. No one just evades McLaughlin. Leah Wellstead, who had a very good game last week.
Yep, she's the reigning best and fairest in the league, I believe.
I think she is the ladies' best and fairest.
Yes, Curtis Wilson won the boys.
And Hattie Shand was the young player of the year, young best and fairest, and she's out there as well. So, and that one's turned over, and very nearly Chloe Dawes adding to her tally for the year.
Absolutely. McLaughlin would probably like to start the game again, but
bit shaky at the back early on, the Eastern States. Saints, that's the first one in the night. We need a counter for that one. Bridgeland will send it down towards the 25. Intercepted by Elizabeth Middleton. I keep getting in trouble for saying Eastern States, but it rolls off the tongue too easily.
It does. I can give you a bit of inside information that Yelena McLaughlin, or Yo-Yo, went away to play a series in Victoria last week, and on GPS in the total week covered over 50 kilometres. So she might be a bit weary this week.
And rightly so. So back to McLaughlin, put under pressure by Dawes. We'll then send it into the midfield to Grist. Grist turns it over again, but illegally. Our umpires tonight, I'm going to leave to Tim.
Thank you. Well, I do know on the far side is the unmistakable Arnie. Unfortunately, I don't know Arnie's surname, but that is certainly Arnie.
Arnie will do.
On the near side, we're going to have to get some help from the viewers at home, I think.
Viewers at home or the Hockey SA Pixies, they normally help me out. Okay, what our umpires are tonight. So Brooke Appleyard continuing in a usual role. Intercepted, but it will be a red ball. The Pirates will have it just outside their 25.
So the Eastern Saints have looked like they've had a few positional changes. McLaughlin playing a deeper role defensively. Shan pushed up more in the midfield. So Grist looks like she's central there at the moment.
Well, there were some interesting things we saw last week. There were some interesting things as Appleyard goes with the overhead, brought down well. Grist does well to knock it out of the air. And it will be a Pirates ball. A couple of interesting things. The Pirates went to a kicking back in the last quarter.
They did when they were a number of goals up,
and there were a number of goals up, so I wonder whether it was just them trying it out, see what was happening.
I think it was quite smart coaching by Matt Cunningham, who's a New Zealand coach who's come over to work with the under-21 state women, who is coaching the Pirates.
That one is outside the circle, so it'll be a 16-yard hit.
Yep, left alone by Grace Henderson, I believe, in the net.
That's who we are. I don't think there is any other goalkeepers. We fell foul of that last week.
The Saints are struggling to outlet at the moment against a really strong press from the Pirates.
Well, because we had Holly Evans with us last week. She's out there playing tonight. Wearing the #1 jersey, if you want to try and find her. I think she's having a rest. I don't know, she's out there down in that right back area. So she watched this Pirate setup as Harrison has that one poked away from her. So it'll be interesting to see whether she gave any notes to Dan Mitchell.
I think Dan would have had enough notes, but
so again, down there in that far corner, seems to be a favourite place for teams to press people into. The Saints trying to get out, but they can't get past Harrison. Harrison does have it stolen off her though by Carter, but Carter will give up. Oh no, she will get the free hit. Grist slides it back to McLaughlin. Dangerous one. Pirates players in attendance, just popped inside, still bouncing around in there. McLaughlin has to deal with it, and she will add some case to those legs of hers as she manages to get out of there.
Well, it's another near miss for the Pirates with their pressing. The Saints are really struggling to get the ball out of their back third at the moment.
It's going to be a little bit of deja vu, but we do talk about this a lot. The lack of an overhead means that it's a lot easier for people to press in.
It is, and McLaughlin actually just threw one then and got some reasonable penetration with it.
And now look where they are, inside the 25. McLaughlin in a far more advanced position than where she started the game in. But as we say that, the Pirates will take over and break. Wellstead will send it down the line. Then it will come in field. Evans gets a stick on it. Wellstead happy to get her head up and come all the way back.
A couple of debutantes for the Saints tonight. So Lucy Talbot, Burnside key player, has just subbed on, number 14.
Good ball from Evans, and then a release ball, sorry to interrupt, from Cass. Just couldn't quite get there.
And number 2 for the Saints has just subbed on Kendra Sylvanderan from the North East Hockey Club, who were both unavailable in their first game.
Oh, very nearly from Appleyard, but always runs around with an air of she knows what she's doing, does Brooke Appleyard.
She does.
Sends forward again, and Sylvanderan, after being named, now will get stick on ball and win the free hit. Shand looks to go quickly. She wasn't going to be allowed to play it from there, though.
No, that was a bit optimistic.
Very optimistic. I would have let it go. We've come to watch hockey. We're off again. Shand down the line. Inside the 25. Better from the Saints. Inside, and we'll look for a circle entry. Gets it poked away, but there is a free hit coming. Still bouncing around there. Shan knocked it away from her own player somewhat, and the Pirates can come away. Out towards Courtney Rudd. Rudd will just send it up and relieve the pressure. This gives a fair old chase to Kelsey Benchy.
Talbot, I think.
16, well, I've got 16 as Benchy.
Okay. I think it was Talbot, but anyway.
Is she wearing
you're
they swapped
talking
shirts?
for the... yes, it was Benchy. What am I talking about? I'm watching Talbot.
Fired forward. Evans trying to find a way out. Does find an outlet to Sylvanderan, but just a little bit too far in front of her. So the Pirates again.
Bit of advice from Cass to the umpire.
Advice that was heeded.
It was.
So this is Lucy Talbot.
This is.
Was a dangerous ball across. Now there's a break on. Can go forward to Rudd if she wants to. She doesn't. Anderson's going to keep going. Then drop it back inside to herself. Then we'll find Rudd. Rudd on the back stick. Rudd fires it across. Misses the target. Just that change in speed from the Pirates.
Well, I mean, again, it came from a turnover on an outlet from the Saints, which is a part of the game they're going to have to work out.
Sylvanderan again. Has it knocked away, but she can go again. Sylvanderan with the autoplay. Players inside, one of which is Shand. Shand will try and pick a pass through. Didn't quite get there. Abby Mitten can get rid of it. Rudd has a lot of work to do against Evans. Evans will give up the free hit.
It was well defended by Evans because there's a lot of space in behind for Rudd, and if she got behind her, she would have used her speed to good effect.
So Mitten will go early. Intercepted by McLaughlin. To Evans, back to McLaughlin. Head up, a little bit of put Grist under a lot of pressure, and she'll turn it over. Evans is beaten that time by Ford. Ford will send it down to Rudd. Rudd, what can she do? Get to the byline, pulls it back. Good challenge just in front of the goalkeeper. Sylvanderan comes to try and help out. Then they will go again. Out towards Ford. Ford inside the circle, fires it across. Not on target, and nobody was there.
Just trying to work out, is that Lindsay Appleyard, number 15?
I have Celeste Ford. There was 2 Appleyards. 6 on my sheet is Lindsay Appleyard.
Yeah, okay. We'll sort that out. Yeah, Lindsay Appleyard is wearing the number 15.
Right.
For your information. And Celeste Ford is wearing the number 7.
Right. Well, this is going to be fun. This is like Sudoku with shirt numbers. Evans will flick it down the line. So in that case,
Belton's number 6, if that helps you.
Right. No, it does. We're good now.
I think the Pirates girls might have gone into the change rooms and swapped the shirts over as to which one fits better.
So that one will go down the line. The Saints will then look infield. There are numbers available. Grist in the middle. Stud and Wait now has an outlet if she wants it. Appleyard did well. I will apologise for that. I don't know most of the players. There are some of the players who I've got now, not all of them. So I just go on shirt numbers.
That's all right, I'll pick you up.
A bad workman blames his tools. Evans will try and get a circle entry. Has it stolen off her by Leah Wellstead? We know that one. Deflected over the top by McLaughlin. Worked out well for Lucy Talbot. Out to Shand. Shand will get ahead of her. Again tries to pick a pass. Can't get through. That's Celeste Ford.
Well done.
Harried by McLaughlin. Causing to rush the pass somewhat. Middleton just plays it up the line. And the Saints will be able to launch another attack. Hetty Shan's going to have her work cut out today. She's trying to pick passes through that red wall.
Well, it's a pretty experienced defence back there.
So there is the overhead that relieves the pressure.
Interesting call, I would have thought.
Well, yeah, there was a defender there. I thought it would have gone the other way, but he's obviously gone with the high stick. Fired inside. It's going to be intercepted. Can they break?
Harrison and Talbot going at it. They've had many battles over the years.
Selvenderen out on the right hand side, fires it up the line, far too far in front of Sam McKenna. That Harrison, who was the other one, sorry?
And Lucy Talbot.
That Harrison Talbot battle, I'm sure, will continue for most of the night. Evans will play to herself. Then goes down the line. Well done to intercept that one.
That's Samantha McKenna on the ball for the Saints.
Couple of players around it, couldn't really get out of it. Appleyard again, has it stolen off her, and then just wanders back. Gives away the free hit though, has a little conversation with our umpire. Only ever one winner in that. Again, they've gone quickly. Now they do get a circle entry. It's bobbling around. Shan with it on the back stick. Sends it towards goal. Knocked away.
Yeah, Bolton got an important touch, but I think Amy Hammond in the net looked like she had it under control.
I would suggest that she did have it under control. That's a lovely overhead to Shand. What can Shand do? Shand against Harrison. Beats the two of them. Then we'll find another circle entry bobbling around in there, but the Pirates will be able to come out. Just a little bit of a swing and a miss. Free hit, Selvenderen will go again. Gets another circle entry, gets it poked away, and we'll have a long corner. Little bit of pressure. Prolonged pressure from the Saints.
Yeah, they took a while to get themselves into the game, but they've controlled the last 5 minutes.
McLaughlin fires it out. It's going to come across eventually on the back stick. Fired it in front. Only red shirts there to deal with it though. Evans does well and intercepts. Evans then will find a pass to Selvenderen. Selvenderen shot at goal. Good save. Amy Hammond still bouncing around in there in another corner.
That was a well-deserved shot by the Saints. They've had enough pressure, but well dealt with by Amy Hammond.
McLaughlin. Now there's an interception. Kind of a break on. Dawes gets on her bike in the middle, gets those long legs of hers going. But the Saints have just done enough, and McLaughlin can launch another one. Has an outlet pass if she needs it. Wanted too long. Now the Pirates are starting to go. That will be Lindsay Appleyard in the 15. Gives it to Dawes, gets it back. Has a player free in the middle, but gives up the free hit. Couldn't quite get it across. Now the Saints are going again. It's Carly Hoffman as the quarter comes to an end. The score is still tied. Well, that's ramped up towards the end of the quarter, Tim.
That was a busy end of the quarter. The game started a bit scrappy with the Saints struggling to handle the ball. The Pirates put him under pressure. As we talked about, Saints got some control late in the game and had a chance or two, but the Pirates are still looking dangerous every time they go forward as well.
What's interesting, we're round 3 now, and this is the second game for both of these teams. There's a complete difference in the way they're playing tonight to the way they played game 1. Both of them, really. The Pirates, I think, because they were in cruise control for probably 75% of the game. But the Saints weren't as quick in their first game. All of a sudden, we've just seen them go, okay, hang on. We've got ball kids. We need to run people around. Let's get going.
Well, I think that'll be one of the interesting things about how this series unfolds, is watching the way in which the teams develop through the series and the way in which they can basically build up a style that can win the competition. And the Saints have, introduced a couple of new players, as I've talked about, Talbot and Selvenderen. So take them a little bit of time to kind of pick up the pace and to understand the way of play. The Pirates are pretty settled by the look of it from last week, but the Pirates have also got a tougher opposition. I think that the Storm last week were a little bit undermanned with a few key players out. So we are in for a good contest.
Yeah, tempo, I think, is a word that we'll use a fair bit, and we're used to watching the Premier League, and the Premier League is not played at this tempo. No, it's not. And from, you know, talking to players in the Hockey SA community, they've certainly noticed a big step up in tempo, as you've talked about, from what they're used to, which is exactly why Hockey SA have put on the comp, and which is exactly why the players have taken up the opportunity to play in it. So it's serving its purpose, I think. It certainly is. You could just see Dan Mitchell in the background in his team talk. I'm not just keeping half an eye on him while you're talking as well. He's let a lot of the players have his say, and you know, you coach at a very high level as well. And when you're surrounded by talented players who have immense hockey IQs, is there a time where you just sort of sit back and let them deal with it?
Yes, but I think because the tight 2-minute timeline in a quarter time break and a 3/4 time break, it's very difficult. As soon as you throw it over to the players, you could effectively lose that 2 minutes, and you might only have 1 or 2 messages that you need to get across. Half time, definitely. Often they'll break up into their small groups, and key players will take charge of that. But that quarter time break is often dealt with by the head coach.
Didn't fancy a statewide Super League coaching gig while you were here?
Well, I have to speak to Huey Purvis. He didn't offer me one.
Hugh!
Yeah, I put in my CV, but it obviously didn't stack up against the others. So.
No, well, Dan Mitchell's,
okay.
Dan Mitchell's hockey CV is obviously glittering.
Oh, it is, and growing with every opportunity.
It is. We rib him, and he knows. I think he watches his back. We do rib him, but we rib him because we love him.
We do.
Anyway, we're off and running again. The Pirates will start us off. Now they will go out to Dawes. Dawes will send it down the line. Then an inside ball is going to be cut out by the Saints. Again, they will find themselves down in that bottom corner. McLaughlin with a lovely little 3D pass though. Finds an exit and then, very nearly got away with it. Grist does well and pokes one away. Good tackle though by Mitten. Mitten will find Wellstead. Wellstead gets a head up early. Then we'll send it to Harrison. Harrison tried to run around the corner but was blocked. Grist, outlet pass. Has an option ahead of her in Carter if she wants it, but she'll win the free hit. Then she'll come back to McLaughlin. McLaughlin under pressure, gets rid of it early enough. Eliza Gray just could not get control of it.
Some nice passing chains to start that quarter. It's great to see some high-level skill.
Bridgeland sends it forward. Intercepted by a number taken, Leah Wellstead. Just couldn't quite get it under control, so the Saints will go again.
Carly Hoffman for the Saints has started well, one of the younger players out there.
Grist happy to send it back to McLaughlin. McLaughlin will get her head up, send it out onto that right-hand side. Just a poke away by Sophie Collins, but still be a Saints ball. Fired across the middle. The Pirates have managed to intercept again. Saints again through Grist. Get the ball back. Sends it into Shand. Shand with Rudd for company. Happy to go back to McLaughlin. McLaughlin had 2 bites at it, but got there eventually. And then I don't think Georgie Bridgeland thought that was going to end up at her.
No, I think, McLaughlin, I think by her own admission, has been a little bit untidy. I'm sure she'd be looking to handle the ball a little bit better as the game goes on.
Georgia Whittaker tried to go down that right-hand side, has it taken away from her. Then a nice little outlet pass, probably put it a little bit too far in front of Hoffman. Oh, that's lovely work. And then the inside ball, and now the Pirates can go again. Mitten got it back, couldn't keep it. Grist gets control of it in the midfield. We're starting to say that a bit now. She's starting to take this game by the reins. Belton sends it out to Whittaker. Whittaker looked down the line. Stick on it, but it's still going to break for Rudd. Rudd will look into the circle. Sends it out the back. Timely interception though. Long corner to the Pirates.
Yeah, that was Lucy Talbot getting across and getting a stick on that.
Off they go again with Ford. Intercepted by Shand. Shand will send it out and get it back. Then send it down the line. Excellent work to keep it in. Carter keeps going. One more in front of her. Happy to come back. Has Hoffman available. Hoffman tried to return the favour. Had it intercepted. They've done well again. Then they will send it to Grist in the midfield. Grist has one more. Oh, almost. Almost. Intercepted.
Looked like a bit of a collision looming there.
Lucy Talbot actually turned it into a good defensive play.
It was the right idea by the Saints, trying to shift it to the open side. They've been a bit direct going down one side of the pitch.
The Pirates again. Over they come all the way to Belton. Belton will look into midfield. Shand again, who's got through a heap of work already, will poke it away. Then she'll come back. Finds Grist. Grist will send it out on that far right-hand side to Talbot. Talbot could not poke it past Harrison, and then Harrison will get her head up and come early. McLaughlin steps in front, looks for a ball, finds a ball to Shan, loses it momentarily, but then will find an outlet all the way down the line. That will find Cass. Cass will beat a couple, and the third one will give up a free hit, but it is outside. Umpire had a look down here just to see where it was. I would have been able to tell him.
No, Celeste Ford did well there, just got herself outside the circle.
Shand again. We'll send it to Gray. Gray back to Shand. Shand across the middle, no one there. Dawes will be able to pick it up. She has it nicked off her stick and will get a free hit. Again, good defensive work by Talbot, and again, the attack is going to launch through Grist. Grist to Talbot. Another circle entry. Another shot on goal. Keeper does well and just will kick it out. Amy Hammond has had a bit to do.
That was a really good clearance.
She's had more to do than her opposite number.
She has, yeah. She was in the net tonight for having a session at 4:30 to 5:30 with Jamie Holland. So good to see her make some saves. She might have to make another one here because
we've got the first one of the day.
Corner.
Wow, this is the first chance we've had to speak about penalty corners. The Western Pirates last week were incredible with their penalty corners.
Their conversion was really high. I was in Melbourne
over 50%.
and watching it from over there.
Yeah,
and,
I think there was 6 for 6 to start from, and with 6 different routines.
They tried them all, did they?
Well, I think they had something like 10 or 11, and we didn't see the same one twice.
So no McLaughlin. So it might go out to Shand, who likes to sometimes carry and slap the ball. She's on the second battery.
Injection comes in. Trap is good. Has gone to Shand. Shand will fire it. Good save again by Hammond all the way out. Middleton will pick it up. Has Evans for company. Sends it down the line. Will go out so the Pirates can build again. Sends it towards Wellstead, who couldn't bring it under control. If I sound surprised, it's because I am. Normally her control is faultless.
Yeah, she's a good player. She hasn't had a dominant role yet, but there's still plenty of time for her to make her mark.
Grist had to come back, could not get past the long stick of Dawes. Dawes tries to send it forward again. A good interception again by Talbot. Sends it to Selvenderen. Does very well against Dawes. Can she find a pass now? She will. She'll pick one down the left-hand side. That's Cass, and Cass will step inside. Appleyard does well. Appleyard tried to knock it onto the feet. Doesn't get away with it. Shand sends it out to Pennington. Pennington beats the first one. Gets a circle entry. Sends it across. Appleyard manages to get her feet out of the way. All stick, Mr. Umpire.
The Saints have been really effective. Shand's had a really good quarter so far and has swung the ball to the right side. They've had good overlap on their right side tonight.
Well, I'll be honest, if I get a chance to talk about it, it's McLaughlin who's more advanced than she's been. And they try and send it out. Doesn't get there. Rudd comes away from it.
Now they're dangerous.
Now they've got a 3-on-2 at least. McLaughlin working hard. Evans has a lot of work to do and does absolutely impeccably. There's a whistle for a free hit though.
Yeah, Holly Evans used all her years of experience to get herself in the right spot there.
Selvenderen with the interception. Has an outlet here in Hoffman. Hoffman will get her head up. Turns round and then will fire it down the line. Good control in the end. Appleyard again comes over with a agricultural challenge, we'll call it. Then they will play on. Cass loses out, then can't quite steal it off Appleyard. Wellstead, 2 players around her. Does very, very well to get out of that tight spot. Sylvender, and again will get a stick on her.
It's a high tempo quarter. Both teams are playing good hockey.
Wellstead will go. Evans with the challenge on Wellstead does well. Grist will send it to Shand. Shand looks for an option, finds one in Talbot, Bridgeland. Bridgeland will send it back to McLaughlin. McLaughlin with her head up will find Shand. Shand that's Evans, and Evans miscontrols it. I'm sure she wouldn't mind me getting her name wrong at that point. Wellstead.
She's disappointed you corrected it.
Into forward, and that one will bounce away. As I was going to say, at the beginning of the game, I had the Pirates as nailed on favourites. Beginning to rethink that now.
Yeah, well,
it's going to be a lot tighter than I would have thought.
You did ask me to have a prediction, and I think I might have said I might have a crack at the Saints tonight.
Well, the reason that I brought that up is as the Pirates just slide that one forward, and then Lindsay Appleyard will look for a bit of space, gets it knocked away so they'll be able to go again. She'll play to herself, then look for a circle entry, gets a foot of Grist. Into the top of the square, McLaughlin lets it go. Hattie Shan played at a national level. Holly Evans played at a national level. Yo-Yo McLaughlin played at a state level as the Pirates again start to get there.
Lucy Talbot is a former New Zealand international.
Shand will send it down the line to the Saints. They have had an even break, but it's going to be poked away and they can go again.
Emily Grist has played national junior level.
And we are calling their names a lot, was the point I'm going to make. So they seem to be on their game. And if you're going to be on your game, tonight is the night to be on that game.
Yeah, well, both teams realise that the winner of this game will go a long way to sealing a spot in the final with July the 25th, I think you mentioned, or after the 21 Nationals anyway.
Another interesting call from our umpire. So that one will go through. That one will be fired at goal, and even though she hasn't had much to do, Gracie Henderson did very, very well.
She did do well. She came off her line, but managed to stay balanced and get her left foot on it.
Lindsay Appleyard sends it forward to Wellstead. Wellstead running around the outside of the circle. Gets poked away by Grist, and she'll find herself in that corner. Knows she can work well in confined spaces, but Grist gave her enough rope almost, and will get the free hit.
Grist and Wellstead have played against each other for years and with each other for years in state teams, so they know each other's games well.
Alison McQueen Mason watching from Thailand. I think I'd rather be in Thailand right now, to be perfectly frank.
Yes, I don't think we'd have our jackets and beanies on.
Oh, lovely outlet ball to Sylvender, and Sylvender has got options in front of her if she can find her. Probably delayed a little bit too long, but it will go out. Then it will be fired forward, and just couldn't quite get there. Chloe Carter doing her best, and she's starting to run around as that point striker.
Yeah, her
finding space.
Yeah, her speed up front for the Saints is causing some issues, and it was a good break for the Saints there, but Sylvandrian probably could have gone right, but she went left.
Lindsay Appleyard turns back. The goal we just talked about, onto Shand. Lovely first time ball to Gray. Gray looking down the line to Cass, but couldn't quite get it to her. Shand put under immense pressure, but as they say, pressure makes diamonds, and she did really, really well in that little situation. And then we'll win it back. Then send it into Grist. Grist has to turn back to McLaughlin. McLaughlin happy to go out all the way to the right-hand side, and just a little bit too far in front of Georgina Bridgeland. Wellstead against Grist. Grist biding her time, but can't get anywhere near Wellstead at the moment. Wellstead will beat the first one. She can't beat McLaughlin though. McLaughlin looked for an outlet pass to Shand, didn't quite get there. Lovely little reverse pass around the corner to Gray. Gray will give it back to Cass. Cass looked down the line. And eventually it comes out. 2 minutes, 30 seconds and change before half time.
Yep.
And it felt like 10 seconds.
Both teams still yet to break the deadlock, but it's very evenly poised in terms of possession and shots on goal. And been one penalty corner, has there?
One, just the one, yeah. Shan back to McLaughlin. McLaughlin will look back to Evans. Evans gets it under control. Then we'll come back to McLaughlin. Red shirts pressing hard and high. Finds an outlet to Grist. Grist shows one way, goes the other. Now we'll look to pick a pass into the circle. Does. Nice little 3D skills. Bouncing around in a circle. Grist swings at it. Came off a Pirates player, so it will be a long corner. Oh, Grist went early and too early. She missed Dawes, but McLaughlin's done well. Picked it back off Dawes. Then again, we'll look to swing it through. Does manage it. Go for another long corner. So starting to notice a trend at the end of the quarters. The Saints will start to pile on a little bit of pressure. A minute and a half. Lindsay Appleyard not too quick to give it back to Shand. Shand will send it to McLaughlin. McLaughlin with one to beat. Beats the first one. Then looks to get another circle entry. Corner again. A minute and a half to go. McLaughlin will send it back for Shand to restart it. Shand comes all the way back to Evans. Evans will get a head up. She'll know what the time is. Send it to Shand. McLaughlin makes a run for Shand and is rewarded and will get it. Circle entry coming. Comes across. Still bouncing around in there. Just couldn't get under enough time and space. And the Pirates can relieve the pressure now with a minute to go. Can they break? 3-on-3 at the moment. Evans does well and gets all the way back there and turns out of trouble and finds an outlet in McLaughlin. McLaughlin looks for Selvenderin. Selvenderin on the right hand side, fires it down the line. Just couldn't quite control it, and the Pirates will be able to relieve that pressure.
How you going? Do you need a breath? Or?
I do. I feel like a horse race caller.
Well, I mean, you're exactly right. It's been almost a mirror image of the first quarter in terms of the way in which it's finished.
Well, I do have a little bit of a time for breath. And you would think, barring a miracle, this will be the half-time score. Fired forward and I think misses everyone, and that will official. Definitely, we'll stick a fork in the first half of this statewide Super League. The Western Pirates 0, the Eastern Saints 0. I need to have a break. I'm sure that Tim needs to have a break. I think everybody needs to have a break. Please join us. Don't forget as well, we are live and we are interactive. If you have any questions, or if I'm calling people the wrong name because of the information I've been given, then please let me know. We will step away. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you share this video so everybody in your family and friends gets to see the incredible hockey that we get to see. We will be right back after this very short break.
Have you thought about what your retirement looks like? Maybe overseas travel, a move to a place with a slower pace, or something else. Whatever your plan, will you have enough super? As your super team, we'll help you find and consolidate your super, expertly manage your money, and be there with you every step of the way. So whatever your retirement dreams, find out how much super you need with Statewide Super. Consider the applicable PDS before making an investment decision. Past performance is not a reliable indicator of future performance. Have you thought about what your retirement looks like? Maybe overseas travel, a move to a place with a slower pace, or something else. Whatever your plan, will you have enough super? As your super team, we'll help you find and consolidate your super, expertly manage your money, and be there with you every step of the way. So whatever your retirement dreams, find out how much super you need with Statewide Super. Consider the applicable PDS before making an investment decision. Past performance is not a reliable indicator of future performance.
We are back for the second half. It's quite interesting actually, Tim. I'd like your take on it. I was just having a conversation with our director in the break, and what he says is he's struggling to get replays in because it's so fast.
Agree completely. I think it's been a really high standard game. Anyone who's not used to the game of hockey and looks at a scoreline of 0 at half time and thinks, oh, there's not much happening, well, this would be a good example of a game that defies that, I think.
Oh, certainly. It's been an outstanding 2 quarters of hockey as we get ready for the Premiership quarter, the third quarter. Don't know why it's called that, but anyway, we do.
Yeah, no, it has been for years in the game of AFL.
And the Saints are off and running in this third quarter. So a little game that we played with Holly last week, and we'll do the same with you. I'm going to make you the coach of the Eastern States for half time. What would you have said to them?
I think they had their best ability to penetrate the Pirates' defence when they were fluent through the midfield and were able to, as we see the ball well dealt with by Evans, if they were able to get it to the open side, which I talked a few times, had really good overlap from Lucy Tower down the right-hand side. I think their forward structure could change a little bit. They could get a bit more stretch to try and open up the field a little bit more. That would give the midfielders a bit more room to work in, and it would also compromise the Pirates' defence a little bit. So, but I think they've got some midfield class to cause some issues to the Pirates in the second half.
Now we'll get to the Pirates in a minute, as they've had a little bit of sustained pressure, and we'll get another corner out of that. Amazingly, 2 quarters of hockey, they haven't had a penalty corner. One of the things we talked to Holly about last week was they had a big win last week, but 6 of their goals came from penalty corners. So Holly said you cut down the number of penalty corners, they won't be as daunting as task. No penalty corners in 2 quarters of hockey, and it's a draw.
Yeah,
it's almost like she knows what she's talking about.
Well, I think she's got some experience behind her, Holly, so I think she does. But I mean, that would have been discussed, I'm sure, by the Saints before the game, and it may have been, you know, putting the shoe on the other foot. The Pirates would have addressed. You would have thought at halftime that one of their strengths is their ability to score corners. So you would be surprised if that wasn't something they'd be looking to do in this half. The other thing that I think the Pirates would be looking to do is they look dangerous on the break, so their ability to get forward with speed, particularly when the Saints defence had pushed up, looked as though it was going to cause some problems for the Saints defence.
Certainly is, and the Pirates will go all the way back to Brooke Appleyard. And probably falls into the same boat as Al Oliver. Never looks like she's trying too hard, but is always incredibly good at what she does.
It's an interesting comparison. I wouldn't have compared the two, but you found a way.
We'll always find a way. Love will always find a way. So Evans at the back. I think that's probably something they're going to have to worry about, and they'll think about, is that if they're going to press for that goal, they're leaving enough behind the ball so that if the Pirates do break, they can deal with it.
Yeah,
and in fairness, if the first half has got anything to go by, Evans behind the ball is enough to deal with anything.
Well, she actually dealt with a few breakaways pretty well, but I wouldn't want to keep relying on that.
No. Grist will go back to Evans. Evans has that one taken away from a commentator's curse there. Lindsay Appleyard trying to deal with the ball across the top of the circle. Sends it to Wellstead. Out to Lindsay Appleyard, fires it forward and didn't quite make its way through.
I think Lindsay Appleyard will continue to play a key role for this Pirates team. She can get some midfield ascendancy and get the ball forward quickly for the Pirates.
McLaughlin to Evans, and Evans will fire it forward. Bounces around. I think someone caught something on the hand, whether it's a ball or a stick. It's Liz Middleton.
It is.
Pirates happy to slow it down a little bit, and now they've had it intercepted. 3-on-3 at the moment. Shand gives the defence the extra player, but Eliza Gray, sorry, not Eliza Gray, Kelsey Benchy working hard up there.
Yep, Shand had a really good first half and was a good physical battle then with Lindsay Appleyard.
Evans again will intercept.
That's a great ball.
Lovely ball out to Cass. Cass, who's had to work hard and has ploughed somewhat of a lone furrow out there on that left wing. Loses out, and then Lindsay Appleyard will turn around. Shand has to come back to Ford. Ford with a lovely outlet pass into the circle. Fired across the front. Still bouncing around out there. And it will go for a long corner.
That came off the left post, isn't it?
I think it did. Oh, here we go. We do get a replay. We found time to flick one in. It does come off the post.
So Amy Hammond would say that she had her angles worked out then, the
She certainly
goalie.
did. She had it covered.
She had it covered.
Certainly better than the Liverpool goalkeeper. We talked about me being a Liverpool fan last time I was with you.
Dear me.
Apparently he had concussion.
Yeah, well, he probably did after the game.
So anyway, we're back off and running again with the Saints. Nice little inside ball. Swarmed by the Pirates. Evans out to McLaughlin. McLaughlin will get a head up early. Harrison will intercept. Then we'll poke it towards Lindsay Appleyard, who sent it forward. Just wrong-footed Courtney Rudd somewhat. McLaughlin again will send it down the line. Harrison did enough to prevent it finding an Eastern Saints stick.
See, I'll have to correct. That's of course Grace Henderson in the net who the ball almost went past while Amy was watching from the other end. But in half-time they swap ends it in hockey.
They do things like that.
By now.
Throws you, doesn't it? Harrison does well against two and will get the free hit. Appleyard at the back, fires it forward, intercepted by Evans. Evans will get a head up and send it forward. One touch to Selvenderen, just couldn't control it.
It was a nice attempt, but it was quite ambitious.
Overhead no good, cut out by Hoffman. Hoffman will then find Evans. Evans gets a head up. Selvenderen is available if they need her. Just couldn't quite get past Harrison. Geez, you say that a fair amount. If you have that on your hockey bingo card, you're definitely going to mark it off at one point. Harrison will send it forwards to Ford. Sorry, Rudd. Then it is intercepted by McLaughlin, and then Rudd will get it back and get a circle entry and get a shot on goal. Good save by Grace Henderson. While Amy Hammond watches on from the other end.
That's exactly right. I mean, a really good, probably, well, Pirates, second best opportunity, but slightly mishit by Courtney Rudd.
Harrison to Appleyard, a couple of Saints around her. Gives away the free hit.
So Rudd had a really good chance in the first half, which was well dealt with, and then again.
Good interception by Wellstead. Wellstead will get going forward, fires it forward, comes off the stick of McLaughlin. A little bit high, so the Saints will be able to relieve the pressure. McLaughlin just with a little pump the brakes signal to Holly Evans. Let's not get too worried. We've still got a quarter and a bit to go.
It's the first time I've seen Talbot on the ball this quarter, so they'll be looking for her to have a bit more influence. She played more on the right, I think, in the first quarter, in the first half.
So the Saints will have the ball around halfway. Lucy Talbot. Options available. One of them is McLaughlin. McLaughlin can carry. Sends it to Shand. Shand with 3 pirates in front of him. Doesn't need any of them. And sends it right down that line. Just could not control it, Sylvenderin.
That was a really good passage of play, and if Sylvenderin had have controlled that, there would have been a circle entry.
It certainly would have done. I think Sylvenderin wishes that there hadn't have been a half-time. She seems to have dropped a little bit. McLaughlin sends it to Sylvenderin, who just miscontrols it again, then kind of gave it up. I didn't hear a whistle, but she gave it up anyway. Harrison working in field on Shand. Beats Shand. Then gets the free hit, then goes again. McLaughlin has to step out the way. Harrison takes it by the throat. Very nearly finished it off.
Yeah, great opportunity there. Georgia Whitaker lurking on the back post but couldn't control it.
There we have Danny Dawson watching from Melbourne. Welcome. She says, "Go Saints." People have attached the colours to a flag all over the place.
Yeah, very good to see.
Of course, one of the questions was, would people get behind it? Would people support a team?
Yeah, well, I think,
and we have evidence of that now.
Well, there's been a lot of the players jumping all over it, you know, posting Facebook, hashtag this and that.
I should keep an eye on that. Wellstead, dangerous around the edge of the circle. Wellstead against Evans. Evans does very, very well. But Wellstead didn't matter. Give her half an inch and she will punish you. Backstick, roof of the net. Pirates take a lead.
Well, it looked like the opportunity had closed up for Leah, but she persevered and then just pulled the trigger. Up it went over the top of Grace Henderson's right hand, right stick.
I don't think there's much more that Evans could have done. But
no,
that's freakish talent.
Well, Holly Evans was defending well. She was using her indoor nous to get her left hand on the ground, but in the end, Wellstead managed to find a way. And here she is again, isn't it?
It is Wellstead with a circle entry again. It's still bouncing around in there, and it will go out for a 16-yard hit. Geez, we've seen some goals in the Statewide Super League as well.
We have, and that was a beauty. We'd been waiting for a while for the opening, but
it's right up there. I think we're going to have to do a top 50 best goals of the Statewide Super League. That one is intercepted by Harrison. Harrison now turns that into an odd man break. Shand does very, very well. Evans has to work hard to get it under control again, which he does. Shand will send it down the line. Comes off a Pirate stick last. Kelsey Benchke having to do a little bit of work up the front.
That goal, I think, was deserved by the Pirates. I think they've controlled more of this quarter and have been the team that have taken the ascendancy.
Evans flicks it back to McLaughlin. McLaughlin will send it forward to Bridgeland. Fired forward again. Sylvenderin again miscontrols it. Not been an auspicious start to the second half for Sylvenderin. And not the first time we've used the descriptive agricultural from Appleyard, Brook Appleyard. Just send it down the other end of the pitch.
Well, they've now got the 1-goal lead, so the Saints have to come at them.
Tough judge of character. Kathleen, solid 4 out of 10. What do we have to do to impress you?
Was that on the Wellstead goal?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, she's seen her score a few goals. I think Carly Kathleen. I think that's Carly Sims, isn't it? Carly Kathleen. So.
I'm not sure. I can't quite see the picture. That's made me giggle. Evans will trot over. Play to herself. Finds Shand, puts Shand under a little bit of pressure. Again, Shand does well under pressure.
Yeah, well, I'm interested to see what, if it remains at 1-0 at three-quarter time, what Mitchell will have up his sleeve for the last quarter, and whether there's going to be a distinct change of tactics to try and get back into the game.
Well, we've seen McLaughlin and Grist and Evans all have shifts in an attacking midfield role, and they all cover each other off when they go there. As Sylvenderin will pick one away, and 3-on-2 for a very, very short moment, and then Wellstead decides that she wants to play. Beats the first one, can't quite beat Shand and Evans. Shand will pick a pass, nice pass to McKenna. McKenna with an outlet to Eliza Gray. Eliza Gray keeps it in but turns it over. Rebecca Anderson has a couple of Saints in attendance.
Yeah, I mean, if I was in Dan Mitchell's position, I would be trying something different. Even something like throwing Holly Evans up front, or even Emily Grist up front. They're both clever finishers and can create. So let's wait and see what he comes up with.
That ball goes out to the right-hand side. Come off a Pirate stick, it did, so the Saints will go again. Now another interception, and Shand has to work again. McLaughlin gets beaten first time by Abby Mitten. Mitten one-handed towards the circle. Then we'll fire it in field. Evans does well. Question as to the challenge from Dawes, but no argument from Evans. McLaughlin will find Shand. Just comes off Shand's foot.
It's a good strong run by Abby Mitten down the left-hand side.
Certainly was, and now Belton will start. Then we'll go circle entry to Wellstead. Wellstead has shown she doesn't need much room to work in. Reverse ball picked up by McLaughlin. She'll get the free hit. Expect to see another overhead from her.
Yep.
Unless she goes out to Evans. Just do the opposite of what I say, it's probably the best idea.
That's right.
3/4 time, Pirates winning the Premiership quarter, 1-0.
And as we talked about during the quarter, I think they deserved their lead. They had far more of the play, I thought, more balls into the circle, and in the end the difference was a quality finish by Wellstead. So yeah, what will Mitchell have on his sleeve? He's writing something on the whiteboard as we speak, so
score more goals.
Yeah, there we go. keep the messages simple, Mitty.
Yeah. We'll see whether we can get one of our camera operators to get that message for you. See whether one of our ground people can get what's written on that whiteboard. Claude and Wendy watching Ali Pennington from Mildura. They're saying go Saints. I think Mildura is Ali Pennington's hometown. I think she came down to study here in Adelaide when she was 18 and from Mildura. There we go, we can zoom in. Well, I reckon one of our overheads can get through there. But what I wanted to say, and what I've been very impressed, that Hattie Shand has stood out for me tonight. One of the things, when I was watching professional sport, you know, you'd go and watch, and you'd be live at the stadium, and you'd see them warming up. Oh, there you go. We just need someone to move out of the way. Fearless, connections, smarts. But you'd be watching them warm up, and when they have time and space, good players can do anything they want. The ball, they're like magicians. They can put the ball wherever they want. Watch these people warm up, and they're messing around with the ball. Then you reduce the amount of time and space they can have. The really good players can still do what they want. And then when you put Hattie Shand under the pressure that she's been under a couple of times tonight, and she still has the ability to beat players, find space, and make a pass, that's what makes you an extra special player.
Well, I think you're exactly right. It doesn't matter what sport you're talking about. It's the ones who are able to operate in those high pressure situations and make really good decisions and remain calm that are the ones that stand out. So yeah, let's see who that player may be in this final quarter.
And I think as well we've got some stats through from Darren Nankey if my computer and my internet is up to it.
Ooh.
I'll let you have a look at them. You can probably understand them a lot better than I can when and if they come through.
Wearing away. We'll wait to see.
Thinking about it.
So no visible change to the lineup. Holly out on the right to start with, so if she spends more time out there, you might see her pushing up on the right-hand channel a little bit more. But pretty well starting as is for the Saints.
So the Saints will go again. Grist with a nice overhead out to this far side. Picked up eventually by the Pirates. Good play from Sherilyn Cash not to get involved and let it bounce so the free hit didn't go against her, and then Evans can rebuild. McLaughlin sends it out far side to Talbot. Talbot looks to beat one, but as you look away to that right-hand side, there's just a wall of red, but they do get a circle entry. Came off a pirate stick, so it will be a long corner.
I think one really important message is if you're trailing, you know, with 15 minutes to go, as the Saints are, that you can't become impatient and go too direct, because that's just going to play into the opposition hand. So you've still got to move the ball around. You've still got time to score.
Oh, I'll hand them over to you. We have found the stats, so we'll hand them over to our expert in residence.
Okay.
So the Pirates look to build again. Down that right-hand side.
25.
Come back to Lindsay Appleyard, who wanted a fair amount of time. McLaughlin does okay, and then we'll beat another couple. Gets the free hit for her efforts.
So, I mean, looking at the stats, it's completely line ball.
Yeah.
You know, each team has had up till three-quarter time the same number of 25 entries, similar number of circle entries, similar number of shots. So the 1-0 scoreline is reflective of a really tight match.
Well, it's a pleasure for me. That's the first time that's my first Darren Nimke pie chart.
It won't be your last one.
I'm sure it won't be my last, but the Saints will get a circle entry. Just pulled up on the shot, decided against letting it go. Cass has decided she wants to try and find a better opening and is working hard. She's looking for a penalty corner. She gets the penalty corner. Second one of the night for the Eastern Saints.
And
this one is important.
It's very important. You've got some really clever players out there. Obviously, Shand was on the battery and got a shot away in the first corner, but this corner they have McLaughlin on the battery, who would be the key person out there in terms of her ability to flick. She's flicking against Amy Hammond, who has seen a lot of her, so if they go for that, it'll be an interesting battle between the two.
So, as we await the injection, two batteries, 3-1 on the line. Injection comes in the way of McLaughlin. McLaughlin with a drag flick. Good save. Still bouncing around there. Long corner. 16-yard hit.
Well, my take on that is that they both did really well. McLaughlin got the flick away, but Amy Hammond probably knew that that was McLaughlin's go-to spot, bottom right, and she offset and covered it well with her right foot.
So can they change if they get another penalty corner? Will they learn from it? That's a pressure pass.
Yeah, I mean, if I was McLaughlin, I would probably flick through the post side, even though you've got to get it through the player, because Hammond will definitely offset to her right-hand side of the goal to cover that shot.
Well, we have no time on the clock. They've done it for us again. The bench down the bottom. I think that might be my internet's run out. That's why it's going off.
Oh, no.
The Pirates coming out the back.
Oh, there we've got the time up there with about 11 to go, is that right?
We're about as right as we can be.
Okay.
We generally go off what the umpires are saying.
Right, okay.
Another free hit to the Pirates. They've gone quickly. We'll get another circle entry, but not for the first time tonight. Lucy Talbot has managed to get a stick on it at exactly the right time.
Yeah.
And again, and now they will come out. Lots of red in front. The blue shirts are starting to stream forward. Shand happy to go back to Grist. Grist gets rid of it to McLaughlin. McLaughlin will go one more out to Eliza Gray. Now the blue shirts are starting to work forward, but just hold that pass short, and all the work that McLaughlin did to go forward, she has to repeat going backwards.
See, I'm not sure if it's just the way things have unfolded, but I wouldn't be surprised if McLaughlin is pushed up into more of an attacking central midfield role where she's about to get the ball now.
Just lost a little bit of control, and it will come out to Wellstead. Again, Wellstead beats a couple. Just knocks it a little bit too far in front though eventually, and I agree with you, young lady.
Lucy Talbot was not sure why that was against her, and we agree, don't we?
Yeah, I'm not sure. We always support our umpires, but doesn't say we can't question them every now and again.
Absolutely.
So almost fired all the way out to that right-hand side. Uncharacteristic miscontrol from Harrison. McLaughlin with a nice little reverse pass to Shand. Shand happy to go back to Grist. Grist gets a little bit of pressure from Rudd. And then Harrison makes up for it, makes the tackle. Lindsay Appleyard very helpfully pointing the direction of the Pirates' goal. Well done by McLaughlin, taking a charge almost like the NBA. Oh, fired at Appleyard.
Did you hear that?
Did, hopefully. Was that a stick or a knee?
I think it was a shin.
Oh.
Yo-Yo checking in on her.
Certainly did,
okay. Yo-Yo actually ended up with 3 stitches in her leg, which she's got in her leg tonight from a club game on the weekend with a stick or a ball.
It's a dangerous game.
That it is.
It's a horrifically dangerous game. That one goes back to McLaughlin. McLaughlin under a huge amount of pressure. Will find an outlet with Shand. Shand drops it off. Then a lovely first-time ball into midfield. Picked up by Bridgeland. Back to McLaughlin. McLaughlin will send it out to Evans. Evans down the line to Selvenderen. No, sorry, no, it's not Selvenderen. That's Cass.
That is Cass. That was a nice passage of play. 6 or 7 passes.
Overhead towards. Free hit to the Saints. They go quickly. Out on that far side with Hoffman. Hoffman fires it across the front. It's knocked away by Hammond and it will be a corner. I instinctively looked at the clock then, thinking that we were getting into the final minutes of this one. Around 8 minutes to go. Little touch from Shand. Selvenderen can't get there.
Oh, yeah.
Now there's a break. Now there's a foot race. Who's going to win the foot race? Foot race is won by Collins. Collins has one to beat. She beats. Doubles the lead. We talked about how dangerous they could be on the break. There it is.
Well, if ever you needed to see a fast break, that was it. You had Wellstead with the tomahawk pass direct through the middle. It fell to, is it Sophie Collins?
It was Sophie Collins, number 1.
And she's a young, developing player. She's got some pace and she finished it beautifully.
So now the Saints really have got to do it. If Dan Miller has a box of tricks, it better be big, it better be deep, and he better open it.
Yeah, well, he's prowling around, so let's hope he comes up with something. I was wondering whether he would pull the keeper, but I mean, that's kind of the reasonably predictable thing to do at this point.
So I was thinking about that whole kicking thing the other day, kicking back thing the other day, but if you've got someone like Evans who can patrol the edge of the circle and prevent a circle entry, then you're okay, because you still have to be in the circle to score.
You do. I mean, I've seen it happen a lot in international hockey and at National League level, and to be honest, I've rarely seen it work.
Okay. The extra man, well, the extra man's just literally stood at the back anyway.
Yeah, true. So it depends on what structure you play with your extra person. If you set it up well, it can be effective.
So they're off and running again. Whittaker, acres of space as the Saints start to push forward. Send it out. Evans will get a stick on it and just poke it away. It's going to come back and it'll come back quickly. 6 minutes, 2-goal lead. You expect to see a little bit of time management from the Pirates, but they didn't last week. I think they were 7 goals up and just kept going, kept the foot to the floor.
Yeah, they kept hunting goals, but I mean, there is still a chance for the Saints to get back into it. And I think Mitchell's done what we talked about with putting Emily Grist up front. So she is clever up there if she gets an opportunity.
Evans at the back, slides it out towards Lucy Talbot, who fires it forward towards Grist. It's a good ball to Grist. Grist has to come forward, sends it to Shand. Again, Shand under a little bit of pressure. Rides the challenge very, very well. McLaughlin, no real option but to go back to Evans. The Pirates preventing any real go forward. It's excellent forward work by Kelsey Benchy just to keep the Saints going backwards, and they're almost going to have to do it again, but Selvenderen with a lovely turn will open up a little bit of space. Then send it to Hoffman. Hoffman has to stop and come back. They have, in a football parlance, parked the bus.
And oh.
But that's a lovely ball through to Selvendren, who gets it on goal. Now it's going to have to come back in. Excellent defensive work. The Saints again will launch another attack. Out to Evans on the 25. Lovely turn by Evans. Tries to beat Dawes. Can't beat Dawes. Dawes is just going to have to clear. One-handed. Evans has got a work cut out keeping up with the very pacey Dawes, but does very, very well. Turns it inside, and the Saints will manage to get it and get the free hit, so no rest for David. We are off and running again. Grist to Evans. Evans fires it down the line to Cass. Cass can't control it first time. She's disappointed.
Yeah, it was a good opening, but couldn't deal with the trap. But again, it's end to end. But the Pirates have sunk back behind the ball, but they'll look to break quickly if they get an opportunity to. Which
we saw, but fortunately Evans did the work to get back there, and there was enough numbers in blue shirts back there anyway. So, Saints will go again.
Great defensive pressure by Mitten. Carly Hoffman worked herself into a shooting position, but Mitten got a stick in.
Another long corner. McLaughlin will go again. Has to come back, you would think. She does. To Talbot, out to Shand. Saints still going, still looking for that circle entry. Just see how many red shirts are behind the ball. Outlet pass to Dawes. Nicked off a lovely little reverse ball. That one's fired at goal. Still going. Working really, really hard. It's still in there. No whistles. 16-yard hit. Just trying to see whether it's that Cass who's moved over to that far side now.
Yeah, Cass got the shot away, and it was a tight angle, but it was
good shot. Keeper had to make a save.
Yeah, well saved by Amy Hammond, who's had a good game in the net tonight.
I wonder whether the scoreboard's not working, because it stayed at 1-0 to the Pirates on the stadium scoreboard.
Yeah, time running out for the Saints.
2.5 minutes, but we won't tell the umpires. We want it to keep going. Grist beats the first one and makes it into the 25. Bearing down on the circle, finds a foot. Now this penalty corner must score.
It has to score, and that's why you put Emily Grist closer to goal, because she can create. So, yeah, whether they go back to McLaughlin to have another flick, or Holly Evans is clever when she gets a chance on top of the battery. She looks like she's trapping, so.
A little bit of misdirection, so we've seen straight to battery number 2, which has now got Shand on it actually. So there is a slight change there anyway, but we've seen the 2 batteries. Are we going to see a variation? Back to McLaughlin. There we do see the variation. Almost a 1-2. Has found its way around. She didn't want the back stick. Another penalty though. Penalty corner.
They tried the little 1-2, but the Pirates' defence was up to it.
When we watched the replay, at that point, Wellstead would have pulled the trigger.
She may have, yeah.
On the back stick.
But she wouldn't have been able to lift it into the roof, because it had to hit the backboard on the corner.
Oh, even after that many passes?
Yeah.
Okay.
First shot on goal.
Oh, fair enough. Learn something new every day.
First hit on goal.
Every day's a school day. Good trap. Again, they move it. Shand fires it forward. Did come off a foot. So, 3 in a row.
Well, yeah, that's interesting that they would go to the right-hand side again. I'd be very surprised if they tried 3 in a row, shifting it to the right of the battery. So, what have they come up with? There's uncertainty there with Evans and McLaughlin still chatting.
Yeah, Evans has come away from trapping. Injection comes, trap comes. Evans, reverse stick, fires it forward. Good save by Amy Hammond. She had a little bit of work to do. Interesting change. Fired across the front again. Appleyard. Brooke Appleyard this time. Works to come out. No nonsense whatsoever. And it's worked very, very well. Now there's a 2-on-1 with Dawes in the middle. She hasn't got her head up. She hasn't seen her.
If she had got her head up, she could have just clipped it across.
Easy. Anyway, circle entry is easy from up here anyway.
Yeah, and this is exactly what the Pirates want. The ball's down their end now.
Does find its way into Dawes again.
So
now we do go with the kicking back with 2 minutes and change.
Yeah, not a whole lot of time for the Saints to
2 goals. It's a big asking for 2 goals.
But I have seen it happen before.
It's the great Jared Walsh said it only takes a second to score a goal.
The great Jared Walsh.
The great Jared Walsh.
Grange Royals man, isn't he?
He is a Grange Royals man. So here is the extra player. Gets the circle entry. Finds it in there. Still bouncing around. Shedd was always going to let go at that one. Brooke Appleyard did not care.
Oh, here we go. Look at this.
Now they are on. Oh dear. Now McLaughlin's got a lot of work to do. Goal is at a mercy. She had to score. And Kelsey Benchy does score. But I tell you what, there was a moment, look, the smile on her face will tell you, there was a moment when nobody was sure that was actually going in.
Well, she often is found on the back post on the end of goals, but she almost snuck it past the back post.
Here we go, here, this one, it's just...
Oh, I think her heart would have been in her mouth there at one point.
A little bit, you would think, wouldn't it? Good goal, Kelsey Benchy.
But that probably adds to the number of times I've seen a keeper be removed and it not work. But it was worth a try. I mean, 2-0 and 3-0, not a big difference.
Well, it was entertainment. There's no goal difference. Goal difference is not going to come into it, really.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
I wouldn't have thought goal difference would be an issue, so just have fun out there. Good control. Now it's going again. Now the Pirates will come out. Benchy wants a hat-trick. It's sent forward again to Dawes. I have no idea who that extra player is because she's covered a number.
That is Georgina Bridgeland.
Pirates will get another circle entry and just miscontrolled it and they'll come out for a 16-yard hit.
Yeah, they've been too good in the end. They've played a good second half, the Pirates.
Inside ball and Whittaker will pick it up. Has a couple to beat. Gets rid of one, then sends it in field to Rebecca Anderson, who fires it forward to Wellstead. Wellstead will send it out to Dawes. Dawes sends it at goal. No real power in the shot. Long corner.
Kicking fullback dealt with it on the line.
Well done. That's what you're there for. And there we go. That is full time. And do you know, that was almost synchronized. Every single girl almost fell to their haunches because they're shattered.
Well, and I think rightly so. It was as we called it, it was high tempo, it was entertaining, it was even. You know, we talked about the stats there at one point that were shared with us that showed that it was an even contest, and in the end they took control in the last quarter.
Well, we were bookended by a wonder goal by Leah Wellstead and an empty net goal by Kelsey Benchy. Ladies and gentlemen, round 3 of the Statewide Super League is in the books, and the Pirates will march on and send the Saints home. So just hung their halo on the corner of the bed. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to step away and we'll be back with you for the men's. Saints taking on the Pirates. We will speak to you again very, very soon.